Okay, I'm going to get right into it. I've given slideshow presentations that are all about my murals, but when I found out this was about growth, I thought, well, I should talk about growth. So we have a big team. We've done a lot of things, and I'll get to that. But I wrote a few words about growth, and I wanted to say I love trying to stretch, take risks, and make sacrifice, and get closer to who I was created to be. And I believe we are all masterpieces of an artistic creator, and that he made us with intention. We're all designed to grow, to do amazing things, and sometimes those amazing things are just taking care of one or two or three people, and sometimes those amazing things are out in the public and have a little bit of observable amazingness. And then we're capable of doing things that we didn't know were possible. As a kid, my best friend had asthma, so we stayed inside and drew Moonies and Fuzzies destroying each other in spaceships. And now I draw with my grandkids. We've added aliens from Catopia and Dogtopia, and still drawing characters in space is one of my favorite things. But a junior high school art teacher introduced me to mural painting, and I did murals in the junior high. And in high school, I got to do murals for the city transportation department on the construction barricade, and I got to design that. And then I went to college, a small college with a one-man theater department, and I was really into theater. I convinced him I could help with the set design, and I ended up being in charge of 8 productions, and 2 of them went to the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and I got, big Broadway stars to tell me how good or bad my design was. And did I mention in college, I built a lot of the scenery with this girl that I met as a freshman the day before classes started, and I married her, and we've been married for 40 years. And it led me to grad school, and I studied scene design. Then I went to Chicago. I was going to do scene design, but I ended up working for a mural studio, and we did some cool stuff. After mural work in Chicago, I tried teaching at a magnet school for the arts in Virginia Beach, and at a small Methodist college in LaGrange, Georgia. And each gig lasted a few years, but I was young and I needed growth. So I ended up working at the Omaha Community Playhouse as associate scene designer for a few years. And when the Playhouse downsized my position, I went back to mural work. And I ended up starting a Midsummer's mural in 1999. I had done scenery and costumes for A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and with my daughter, and she helped me brainstorm the name of the company. And we did murals in homes and businesses and churches and neighborhoods, and still do. So an example of a mural in a home and some faux finishes I did like 20 years ago, and church murals celebrating feeding of the thousands, and the mission statement of that church. Am I still on? Oh no, I tried to turn something off. Hello? Okay, good. I'm back. I'm going
to turn it up one.
Yeah, turn it in.
Whoa. All right, I think is that a little bit louder? Yeah. Okay, perfect. There you go. Rock on, Richard.
Okay, so then we did another mural for a church. Let all that you do be done in love. And we did a lot of businesses, and one of the businesses we did a lot for was grocery stores. Supermercado Nuestra Familias, you might have been in one. They have murals about Hispanic, Latino architecture. And we did 3 in 2014, 2015. And we added to the crew. And we, this year, have been asked to do 3 more. And we did one in 50th and Harrison, one in Topeka, and we're about to open one at 24th and L. And we've done all the canvases, and next week we'll start installing, so it's going to be fun. And when we were doing these, we got a job to do a mural for the VFW, and we got together the kids at Kennedy Elementary School, and they did a little mini mural about freedom, and they wrote what freedom means to them, and they got to meet some of the veterans and connected people, and we did a mural on a law firm after that for Koenig Dune, and it ended up being about the Bohemian neighborhood kids. It was close to the Bohemian Cafe, and we ended up looking at the artist Alphonse Mucha for inspiration, and we did a Mucha-like spirit of the Bohemian neighborhood, and we took a pose from a young lady who had started a vintage clothing store in the neighborhood. And about the same time, Mike Jerome, who'd been part of our team for years, had accepted a job teaching students at Metropolitan Community College how to do murals. And we ended up teaching for a semester how to design them and a semester how to paint them. And it was called Waves of Immigration. And with these two murals, the Bohemian mural and the MCC mural, we started a thing called the South Omaha Mural Project. So South Omaha has it started if you would have visited it in 1880s, you would have found about 30 people. And if you would have visited in 1890, there was about 10,000 people. And Lipton Tea Company was taking ships across the water, and they ended up hooking up with the railroad and taking meat all over the place. And that created a demand for processing food in South Omaha, and they built huge packing plants. And if you look at pictures of the baseball teams, every little neighborhood and business had a baseball team in South O, but the names are all Polish and Italian and Lithuanian. And of course, now in South Omaha, we have a lot of people from Latino countries. And one of the murals we did was the Mexican community mural. And I wanted to tell you about the process. We bring people together. We hear their stories, what their community means to them, where it's been, where it's going. And then we design it. We have people vote on it. We project it. We have community paint days. These paint days were at the Cinco de Mayo festival. And we have celebrations. This was for the Polish mural. And we had polka music. And at the celebration, we had a young couple pretend to be a marriage couple, because the whole mural takes place in a 3-day wedding, because of course the Polish celebrate the wedding for 3 days. And then of course we're smashing a chair, because the Polish smash a chair at the wedding to see how many pieces the chair breaks into, and that determines how many kids the couple will have. So and we did a Lithuanian mural, and it happened to be the year of the sister cities, so we had ambassadors come from Lithuania, from Šiauliai, our sister city. And the Mexican community mural celebrates Del Futuro al Pasado, from the past to the future. Hugo Zamorano was the lead artist, and it celebrates the churches like Our Lady of Guadalupe and Gethsemane Lutheran Church, and all the great organizations that came out of that eventually ended up One World Health Clinic. And we celebrated the Barrientos brothers and their musical legacy, and Nostrovia, the Polish mural. I told you about the smashing of the chair. That's in the mural. But one of the things that's interesting about that is we have Illumilite cut out characters. So it's sort of a pop-up mural. It's on Dinkers, which is in a place that used to be a packing plant between Omaha and South Omaha, called Shealytown. But Dinkers is the name of this young man's grandfather, but Dinker was the polka king, and his grandson's wearing his polka uniform while he dances with his grandmother at a shut down block polka party. But that's the mural. And we did a mural for the Croatian community in what was called Goose Hollow at about 36th and W. And the priest is writing a blessing above the door in chalk. 1917 was when the church was built. 2017 was when the mural was done. And GMB stands for Gaspar, Malthazar, and Balthazar, the three wise men. So this was a blessing that the priest would do at the holiday season. And every year in the year would change. And we did the mural with little sponges because the Croatians love tile and mosaics. So by putting the sponges on we also got a lot of community to help with the sponges, because it was real simple. So it's a neat, fun little trick for painting murals. We did a mural for celebrating the sesquicentennial, and we were chosen to be by the legislature to be on a special website about that. And in this mural, we worked with Gary Kastrick, the South High historian, who we always work with, and he told us how they went across Nebraska and interviewed people from different towns. So we actually did do a little road trip and interviewed people from different towns. But it's about how all of Nebraska came to South Omaha regularly during the day to exchange their cattle, but also to shop. And then we did a mural for the Irish community on Donohue's Pub. And it kind of is about the rise of the really low-class Irish community to being leaders in the police department, fire department, state legislature, and even helping to elect Bobby and JFK, well, trying to elect Bobby. And the my daughter, Rebecca Harrison, was the lead artist on this. And some of the things you might see is the beautiful lace work. There's being done by people. The community of the Irish neighborhood was a lot of people that came over in 1916 after the Irish uprising, and they had fought in the Irish uprising together. The Mayan mural, we listened to these horrible, sad stories about genocide in the 1980s and 90s. So we have three circles: the past, the present is, the past includes a lot of things about sacred temples and hieroglyphs and then as well as the genocide. The lower left are caskets. The center circle is their community now, also their immigration, which were difficult immigration stories, and the right circle is about the future, and they have a lot of things that they hope for in the future. And it was on the back of a pharmacy on the Plaza de la Raza, also on the Plaza de la Raza, and the Mexican murals on the Plaza de la Raza. But then we did a Native American mural, and the Native Americans read from right to left typically, and so we have the original. These figures represent the tribes, and it starts with the Omaha, and then the Ponca, and the Santee Sioux, and the Ho-Chunk, and the buffalo at the bottom are silhouetted as designed by Donnell Keeler, who was an Omaha Native American artist. And we, as all of these, we had call for artists, and we used people from the neighborhood. Aaron Olivo was the lead artist. Sarah Rowe helped with this. We did a Black American mural. You don't think about it, but there's areas in South Omaha that are 75% Black. And Barber was the lead artist on this. And it celebrates community leaders. It's on the Simple Foundation building, which is a place that helps people who are immigrants from Africa. And we use an apprentice. We often use apprentices from the neighborhood. Our apprentice on this project was Benter Mock, and she was a high school student, and she's been working with us since 2018 or 19 when we did this, on and off almost every year. This year, she got to design a mural on a medical clinic that was on a storage container that was shipped to Uganda, and it was celebrated by the community. And this mural is a mural in the new high school in South Omaha, and it celebrates all of our neighborhood murals, and it's on the tree that I call it the tree pluribus unum, but there's a sculpture of a tree at 24th and L with medallions about different cultures, so I just kind of riffed on that. And after that, we did a mural for the Italians, and it's on Orsi's, and it celebrates the Santa Lucia Festival and how the Italians built a lot of the railroads, and how a lot of them came over after the two brothers from Carlentini, Sicily. They sold and gave loans to people taking steamships over to America. So a lot of the people, 74% of the Italians in Omaha come from Carlentini and Lentini, Sicily. And we did a Mayan mosaic project. And then we did a mural for Morton Meadows and Newman, who lives in Morton Meadows and had been working with me almost since her high school days and couple of decades or more. And this was on a Masonic lodge. We have fun pictures of community paint days and projection days. And there was some buildings on 24th Street that were kind of dilapidated, and people asked us to do some murals on on them. And there's 24th Street has parades, Cinco de Mayo parade, and parade about Mexican independence. So it was good to celebrate Aztec culture. And we did this mural about Tlaloc, and there's lots of hidden symbols. And all of our, if you go to southomahamuralproject.com, you can read about the legends of these things. We celebrated it with Aztec dancers. And this year was a crazy year because in addition to doing Morton Meadows and the Aztec mural, we did a mural on a grain silo. And Sarah Rowe was chosen to design it, and they chose A Midsummer's Mural to paint it. It was 120 feet tall and 240 feet wide, and we did it on swing stages. And we did abstract doodles all over the silos after we cleaned them and primed them. And then we laid, in a computer, we laid Sarah's design translucently upon our doodles, and then we could find how the points of the drawing that she made connect the lines and paint her picture. So we didn't have to project it. It was an interesting process. Last year we did a Quetzal mural. It was close to a daycare, and we had thought it'd be fun to do a whimsical animal. And it also so happens that the Quetzal is sacred to Aztec and Mayan cultures, so it worked out to be a fun, whimsical character. And again, the Aztec dancers were part of our celebration. And above it, we are celebrating one of the first trolley drivers, one of the trolley drivers that back in the early 1900s went up and down 24th Street, all the way to North Omaha and South Omaha. His name was Ray McMichael, and he's the grandfather of Ross Pesek, who's a big supporter of ours. And this year, we did a mural 560 feet long about steel and railroads in the Midwest. And we had a call for artists. They had 21 artists chosen to paint these train cars to tell the story. So we start off with this car about the formation of iron and heavy metals in the cosmos by Danny Reyes, and Jeanette Johnson showed us how we discovered these metals made steel. Daisy Luttrell talked about how these elements got formed in the Earth's crust. And Mary Ann's, I'm going to just go through the names, but you get the idea. It's chronological, and it deals with steel and railroads in the Midwest. Mary talks about indigenous peoples and miners and their challenges with the steel industry. And Morgan Cronk did this one about settlers using steel. I'm sorry, this one wasn't the finished version. You'll have to go visit this. It's on Cattleman Steel, which is on First Avenue Trail in Council Bluffs. Jair Rodriguez and Jennifer Waltemath and Kimberly Swanger. Her grandfather was a Gandhi dancer, which means he repaired tracks. Ethan Robles, Amelia Koenig, Hugo Zamorano, who was our apprentice on the Lithuanian mural, but then was our lead artist on the Mexican mural. Mike Giron, about the hard labor that steel workers do in that building, and Conrad Nicholas Miller, and a picture about arc welding, what it looks like. Danielle Castañeda Cedra did this mural about how the railroads connect our hemisphere and made migration and immigration something more possible. Kathy Hang, she's from Vietnam, or her family is, and this is about the Asian workers on railroads and their family time. And this is Holly Carey. She did this mural about how the Midwestern town was shaped by steel and railroad work. And Jasmine Young, her grandmother was worked in the railroads in Council Bluffs. Okay. And Josh Audis talked about plasma cutting, and Rebecca Storrs painted about a topographical view of a mine, and Zach Storrs painted this mural where he took pictures inside the steel fabrication business, who's right now building Epley Airport, and put that in the mural. And Ann Newman talked about the future of steel And so this is a lot of our crew. I didn't get Kathy and Ethan in there. They're in this mural, in this picture. And we cut the ribbon with the mayor and the owner of the Cattleman Steel, whose grandfather was also in the railroads. And we did a lobby for a apartment building in downtown, in an old market. And this is what we're working on now. It's a series of murals for the Eastern Nebraska Veterans Home. The top one is going to be in the hallway, and it's the old oak tree with the yellow ribbon, which means we value you, our veterans. But it's got hidden in the branches are drawings of the veterans and who live in this home. And then the lower left is pictures of the work that they did. We had meetings with them and heard about the work that they did in the military. And then on the right is what the military family life was like, and not when they weren't working, playing cards and socializing and playing baseball. And here we were just yesterday, several of us are doing characters or profiles of people in the nursing home and hearing their stories. And Ann Newman's painting in the shop, one of the backgrounds. And next year we hope to do a mural called Woven Together. It'll be a quilt mural, and we'll have a call for artists. And hopefully those of you who like to paint murals would enter, and you can say what country or what origin your quilt would be like. These are quilt designs from the Lincoln International Quilt Museum, and they are from all over the world. We've been growing. We've been trying to develop our mission statement, trying to develop our and we believe beauty and creativity are wrapped up in living abundantly. We celebrate beauty collaboratively. And I want to say that the challenges to growing as a business is delegating is hard, teaching and letting go is hard, budgeting is challenging, creating a team culture where each member is valued is challenging but good. Trusting your leadership is essential, and developing that is a challenge. But looking into the future makes it worth it. Caring about the team makes it worth it. The work we do feels rewarding, renewing. The community expresses a lot of gratitude. And we feel that life is about serving others, not about self. I recommend this book. I've been reading it and trying to get my team to read it a little bit. The main takeaways is getting away from doing everything yourself. And just the last slide, the seasons of growth include seasons of change. When former things recede and new branches take over, it's a beautiful and challenging part of life, and something I want to do with excellence. This is my granddaughters as they were helping on the mural. So